Hey everyone, welcome to Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. This podcast is all about farmers markets. Whether you're a farmers market manager or a small farmer, food maker, or artisan selling at farmers markets, you have found just the right podcast.
I'm Kat Fields-White.
And I'm Bridget Myers. We're longtime farmers market managers, educators, and consultants. Get ready to catch up on all things farmers market pros with us. This season, we're talking past tense and future tense, focusing on the tried and true basics that still work and new insights and ideas to make your farmers market or market businesses stronger and less stressful. Today, let's talk about celebrating.
Today's episode of Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast, is supported by MarketWorks, now including the MarketWorks vendor app, a monumental shift in your vendor's profile and billing experience. Market Vendor's user experience is the key to making your market management platform reduce the time you spend on applications, space reservations, and invoicing. With vendor profiles that are easy to establish and update, you can give your website and marketing some extra love. Create polished market maps to support both vendors and shoppers, generate reports, and eliminate bulky paper files. If you're ready to streamline your market management systems, contact Chris today by clicking the MarketWorks logo on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
Welcome back to Tent Talk, everyone. We're talking in this season about past tense and future tense. Get it? Tense. That means we're making use of the resources and knowledge we've all gained over time and sharing new tools and information to help our markets and businesses thrive and grow. Today, we're talking about celebrations. Sometimes that means bringing a cake to market to celebrate someone's birthday, hiring a marching band to mark a big anniversary, or getting ready to join together all across the U.S. to celebrate National Farmers Market Week.
Coming back in August. It's not too soon to start planning.
Not too soon. I feel like we should put like an episode together with just clips of every year that we've talked about National Farmers Market Week on the podcast. And it's like, all right, start planning now. And then our August 1st episode is like, okay, well, we're up against the wire now. And so for those of us, including us every year who haven't done anything, this is what we can like slap together real quick. But some people, I aspire to be these people, plan way ahead. And so I think it's time. It's time for you to start planning those celebrations. And I am going to set that goal for myself this year. I'll just set the goal again and again and hopefully make it this year and do something really cool for National Farmers Market Week.
I have faith in you. I think you're going to do it this year. Yeah. The key to starting now, instead of doing it last minute, we're definitely deadline people. We can knock things out at the last minute. But if you start now, you have a much better chance of doing things like scheduling the mayor to come out and do a proclamation. Those guys, they schedule far in advance. They don't typically send him out on a couple days' notice. And that kind of thing, maybe your governor, if you're going to get together with all of your markets and make sure that you get a governor's proclamation, you're going to need a little time to work on that. Long lead PR. You might be able to get some of your city magazines and those kind of folks to observe it if you start early enough to get onto their printing schedule.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think the long lead plan is important for those kind of things. You can certainly slap it together at the end, but really if you want to start cranking some things, even like pick one thing, just pick like, hey, I'd like to have so-and-so come out. So I'm just going to contact this person. And that's it. That's what you're working on. So this is a good time to just pop that email out.
It's amazing who responds sometimes if you email. We have somebody in our online group. There's been a lot of discussion about the new SNAP guidelines for what kind of products you have to have at your markets. And so she emailed Marion Nessel, who is a big author, writes about food systems all the time. And Marion wrote back and said, this is how I interpret it. Don't worry about it. You have plenty of other things to worry about.
Sometimes you just never know who's going to reply. People are
You never know.
People. Yep.
So let's pick somebody famous and invite them out to our markets for National Farmers Market Week. Start now. But we're also going to talk today about much more casual celebrations, some that you have to plan way ahead, some that are really easy. I went to my neighborhood farmers market yesterday afternoon, and almost everybody was wearing birthday hats. I'm still not to this moment absolutely sure whose birthday it was, but I think it was one of the vendors or possibly one of the market staff people. But anyway, there was an abundance of little pointy birthday hats. And it was adorable. And everybody just looked happy. How can you look unhappy with a birthday hat on your head?
How fun is that? I love that. I love the birthday celebrations at the market. My team always does a great job celebrating birthdays for vendors and certainly our own staff, and they always do such great awesome things for me when it's my birthday. I'm a Taurus, so I love my own birthday, and they know that about me. So they
You
make a
mean
big
birthday
deal out of it.
month?
Birthday month. Yes, indeed, birthday month. And it's always Mother's Day right before my birthday, so I get a little extra celebration. But yeah, that's always fun. And then they'll post on social media. My social media manager always posts the nicest post about me for my birthday with the big old picture. And so shoppers will just come by and say, "Oh, happy birthday!" Like people who don't necessarily like know who I am or just saw me on the Instagram, and it's really nice. It makes me feel good. So that's a great way to celebrate. Do a celebration at your market. Just do a little shout out. Bake a little cake, sing a little song, and it's always lots of fun for everybody.
Well, and I think that's a good thing to remember is that it's as much fun to plan a celebration sometimes as it is to be the one being celebrated. We used to hear that all the time with a group that we volunteered with, that volunteers get as much out of volunteering for a good cause as the folks that receive the benefits of that volunteerism. And planning parties is kind of the same way. I personally find it way more fun to plan a party than to just go to a party. That's the cool part. Design those drinks, figure out that menu, invite people to coordinate the potluck. So I think your staff, if you pick a staff member that loves to throw a party, they could have a really good time putting together celebrations for all kinds of things.
That's right. And it
Or
just brings,
volunteer.
yeah, or volunteer. That's a good way to kind of give someone some extra volunteer hours, is put them in charge of something really fun that, if you're looking at, legally, how can you use volunteers at your market? That's not necessarily like taking a job away from a staff person or doing something that requires being somewhere specifically at a specific time. If they're working on a project like a celebration, I think that's a great way to use a volunteer. And usually volunteers are like super happy to help. And that's why they're volunteers, is like they are really passionate about it and want to be there versus, I mean, I'm sure your staff is too, but it's like their job and it gets redundant maybe for them. But volunteers usually, in my experience, just, not at my market, but other events working with volunteers, they're excited to be there and giving them something fun to do. It's awesome. Awesome use of their time.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It engages the community to do little celebrations at your market. And it's actually a good way to remind your community of a number of things when you're having a celebration of some kind. If you're doing an anniversary celebration, it reminds them of the longevity of markets, that you're not just popping up once a week, you're popping up every week, and you've been doing it for years and years and years. So pointing out how long you've been around can be really important. It reminds people that markets don't just happen. If you're celebrating someone's birthday or someone's retirement, then that must mean someone works here.
That's a good point. You can remind everybody that this is a job when you're celebrating work anniversaries, because guess what? They're at work.
Yeah, the manager's birthday is this week. Oh, there's a manager? Well, yeah, let me fill you in on those details. There, in fact, is.
People do say that when I get my birthday shout outs. They're like, "Oh, what do you do here?" I'm like, "I run this market." They're like, "Someone runs this market?" And it's all because of a birthday post. So, yes.
Exactly. You can remind people that you get to meet your real food producers at the market. So if you have a farmer anniversary or you make founding vendor signs and you make a big deal of awarding those to people and displaying them and hanging them on their booth, that reminds people that those folks that are standing in those booths are actually the folks that grow and harvest or bake and assemble and produce their food.
Yes, I love that. We did that at the Mercado many years ago. I think it was like our 5th anniversary, and gave the vendors that had started at the market a sign to hang on their booth that said, "I planted the seed." Founding farmer, founding vendor at the Mercado. And they were so proud to hang those from their booth, and they hung them up in their booths for years. I'm sure some of them still have them. So it's like a nice way of like recognizing the farmers and vendors that help build the market, and also letting folks that are at the market know how long they've been around and who's been there since the start and who's in that booth.
I think so too. That's really fun. In fact, I think on our 10th anniversary is when we did the T-shirt where it talked about 10 years of farm and fun and flowers and food. And then on the back, we listed every vendor that was at the market, but the vendors who had been with us from day one were in a different color ink in that huge list. And that was fun, seeing them stand out and seeing how many people were still there after a very long time.
Yeah, that was a really fun shirt. I liked that one. The Hollywood Farmers Market just recently did a little ceremony at their market. They had a banner up and they had a little stage area and they gave like awards for their farmers, maybe vendors, but the part that I saw just had farmers for the farmers who'd been at the market for a very long time. That market's been around for a long time. And the farmers that had just in general like been farming for a long time. And it's like they have a sweet video up. The farmers' families came out, and like with the kids, and they were so proud that their family had been farming and providing food and produce for this market for so long, and their longtime customers had like came out and were so happy to see that and be like, oh, that's where I get my food. Yeah, and I talked to, just chatted with Jasmine over at Hollywood Farmers Market just briefly because I saw that video and I go, this is so sweet. I have a vendor party every year that we do, off site, but it just got my wheels turning like, oh, this would be really nice to give to some of those like longtime farmers that have been at the market for a long time as a thank you and as a recognition, for everybody in the fellow farmer and vendor community, and then also all the shoppers, just recognizing how long they've been providing this community with food because it's really special.
That is so cool. So did they set the stage up like in the middle of the market while the market was active?
It looked like the market was like happening. It was on the market site, which is also, I think, important too, because they're already there as opposed to asking them. Like at the vendor party, we do get a handful of farmers, which I love, but like some of the farmers are like, Bridget, I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning and drove like 3 hours here. I have to pack up and drive home and unload the truck. Like, it's like a party after the market doesn't always bring in the biggest number of farmers. So doing it at the market, I think is kind of key and just carving out a little time. I'll get more details from Jasmine and I'm going to try to do that for my farmers and vendors this year too. But yeah, it was at the market. So it just looked like they were already there and like their families just came down to the market to help celebrate. And it was so sweet.
I love that. What a wonderful idea. I am generally opposed to uh, contests where we're giving prizes for the best something because really they're all the best. But
Hmm.
I love the idea of kind of recognition awards, maybe give them a plaque or some kind of a sweet award thing. Those are pretty easy to order. And what a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I agree with you on the contest too. That doesn't always work. And yeah, one year we did like we had cards out for the shoppers to say thank you. And then we gave like little awards. I forget where most of them were, but one of them was like class clown at the market, and like we all thought it was funny. And then our vendor was like, hey, like so sometimes we're like just joking. We're like, just because you're so funny and you're always like razzing us. So you gotta be careful with like those kind of awards or like contests, like, latest vendor to arrive or something. You have to make sure that like they're in on that joke and they aren't going to get offended. But it could be funny. We did give some of those like, and people felt razzed and they thought it was funny. But yeah, that's always helpful to do to recognize vendors and farmers in some kind of way.
I would say those kind of awards you really want to keep at the vendor party and maybe not publicly in the middle of the market.
That is true. Some of them were hanging theirs up on their tents because they liked them, but then some of them definitely were not. So it was funny. It was funny all around. They had a good time.
Oh, what else do celebrations publicize? Gives your city and your government and your local press a chance to recognize you and see that you're a story. You're not just a flash in the pan. You've been around for a while. And it gives them a hook to hang a story on if you're trying to get press or if you're trying to get recognition from your city, municipality.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, kind of giving out some data and information while you're celebrating things is really helpful, to just get that, like you said, recognition, or if you're looking for support from any of those agencies, just kind of illustrating what your market is bringing to the community.
Party hat can do a lot,
Party Hat
right?
can do a lot. Yes, Party Hat can do a lot. I feel like people feel that they're at a real community, they're at a real business when you do things like that at your market. So I think definitely celebrating all the things, and if you have the time and labor to do something big, that's great. And if it's just, passing out party hats and that's it and just celebrating something with folks that are there, I think that's also obviously you came to your neighborhood market and noticed. So just note, your shoppers will notice something, your community will take notice of that.
I think so too. And the basic reason that celebrating all kinds of things is important is that we all work really hard, whether the public knows it or not. So vendors, farmers, market teams, a little frivolity can go a long way in making people recognized and also just relieving the pressure that we're under in meeting regulations and managing conflict and dealing with traffic and all of those things. If we're also cutting a little cake or getting a bouquet handed to us, can really change your tone for the day.
Definitely. I think I spoke about this already, I think on a couple episodes ago, but for Valentine's Day, I love the Mercado bags printed, like little canvas bags. They were like kind of cheapy bags, but still could hold a lot for people to shop in. And I handed them out to our shoppers. So it wasn't for the vendors. It wasn't to celebrate anything specific. It just happened to be we had a market on Valentine's Day. And I I like went into the market and just looked for people that I recognized as regular shoppers. And then my team gave bags to our EBT repeat shoppers. So they were coming to the booth so we could hand them out there. But I would kind of follow people around, and say, hey, I want to say, and some people were like, like, I don't want that. Like, what are you selling? And I'm like, no, I'm the market manager. But it wasn't really like I had a relationship with them. I had just recognized them that they had been coming to the market for a long time. And, my market's big, so I don't have like a long conversations with a lot of my shoppers all the time. But once we kind of like realized who we were, they were like, oh, thank you so much. And they felt so good. And the vendors started like halfway through the day, they were like, are you doing something for shoppers? Like my shoppers keep showing me this bag and saying that the market manager gave it to them. And they're like crying tears of joy, like just like felt so great to be thanked and recognized as a regular shopper at a business. Cause like, when you go to a coffee shop, like, you know, 2 years in a row every single day and they still don't know your order and they still don't know your name, like that doesn't feel super great. So I think they felt really like kind of recognized and appreciated. And that was a nice way to celebrate the shoppers. Because if there's no shoppers, there's no market. So I think there's some things you have to do for your shoppers to kind of celebrate their commitment to being there.
I think that one's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think very few of us remember that that's who we really need to celebrate, in addition to our farmers and our vendors. Those shoppers that show up day after day, that come out, rain or shine. I mean, that is what keeps us all going.
Exactly. There were several shoppers that I was like, oh, I've seen you on the rain days. You come out here in your galoshes and your bag is full of produce and vendor goodies. And it's like, you just come out here and shop and you don't make a big deal out of it. And you don't say, oh, give me a gold star. I shopped in the rain. They are just our shoppers. So really recognizing that, I think is helpful.
I love that one. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Anniversaries are obviously a natural to celebrate. So have a party on your 11th year of your market. Heck, have a party on your 3rd year of your market. And then, of course, you want to usually go all out, maybe do a printed bag or a shirt or something when you do those big ones, your 5 years, your 10 years, gosh, I just saw some market publicizing they were celebrating 45 years of being there every week.
Can't believe it. There are markets in this country and obviously beyond that have been around consistently for decades and decades. And it's just incredible. And you should celebrate that. Like, just a reminder that it's a lot of work, as we all know, and we should celebrate that we have been here and a staple of the community and a hub for small farms and for small businesses to thrive for many, many years. So definitely make those celebrations happen. At our market for the 15th anniversary, all Kat's little heart desired was a marching band her whole livelong life at the market. And so it was actually like a lot harder than I thought it was going to be to find a marching band. But a friend of mine helped me and we got a marching band from a local high school. And they just drove their little bus to the market, unloaded from the bus, and they marched through the market, all 6 blocks, playing marching band music, and it was actually like drizzling that day at the market too, but there were shoppers because that's how our market does it. And surprised Cat brought the board of directors out for the neighborhood, and some other folks that had businesses that had been very supportive of the market, some old employees and things like that, and they came out and Kat got to walk through the market with a marching band right behind her, and it was lovely.
I did. That was the most exciting day of my life. I mean, next to having you girls and stuff. But, yeah, that was up there. It was in the top 10.
Yes.
Getting to lead the marching band through my farmer's market. It was wonderful. Side note, I'm known for wearing non-matching earrings. I turned a problem where I would always lose one earring into a policy, and I always wear earrings that don't match. They're usually food related. And every member of our team, including an older guy that works with us, was wearing mismatched earrings that day. It was hilarious.
Denny got the clip-ons and wore them. We all had the mismatched earrings. Even some farmers and vendors did it too. So it was a little ode to Kat on a really like momentous, like 15 years from a market that, you started from scratch and had gone through a lot with that market. That was 2023, right? 2023. And so that was right out of COVID and just everything that you had done for the market. It was a great way like to celebrate you. That was when we were really transitioning the market over to my hands too. So it was a great way to say thank you to you and for shoppers and farmers and vendors in the neighborhood in general to really understand and recognize everything that you had done for the market and do something special for you. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, I loved it. Now I'm
Yeah.
going to cry.
Oh no.
That was very exciting.
But yeah, I mean, that's another way to recognize if you have a manager transitioning out of a position, or even a farmer or vendor that's been there for a long time when they're transitioning out of the market or celebrating some big anniversary at the market, celebrate them in that way too, and bring that recognition to them. You don't have to do some big fancy, dinner that's a side thing. You can just bring that celebration to the market and it's really meaningful.
Yeah, and that's the best people to spend your anniversary or your retirement party with is those people that you've been seeing every single week at your market. I think
Definitely.
anybody who's the honoree or the person putting it together should be assured that those are the best people to party with for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, it was so great that we got to do that at the market.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
You know what? You can also celebrate just things that, I don't know, don't seem that momentous, but they do recognize that somebody has spent some work. You can celebrate reaching X number of farmers and vendors. Say, hey, when we've got 25 farmers and vendors here, we're going to have a big celebration about it. Look, we've grown from here to 25 or to 50 or whatever milepost that you've set. When you reach a certain number of social media followers, I think your market did that. Caitlin, your social media person, organized a really cool celebration when you reached, I don't remember how many, it was a lot.
I think it was 40,000 because we're at 50 something right now. And it was like a little while ago. But I said, hey, we're about to reach 40,000. Like, let's do a giveaway. And then she's going to laugh if she listens to that because I was like, hey, I'll email all the vendors and see if they want to, like, see if a few of them want to donate like a couple items. I was like, hey, everybody, we're about to reach 40,000 followers on Instagram. We just want to do something special just to kind of like celebrate that, whatever, and do like a couple bags full of market goodies as a giveaway. And literally like every vendor and farmer said that they would donate something and we didn't want to like turn them down. So then I put Caitlin in charge of this task and she put together, I think we had like 10 themed bags. It was like day at the beach and it was like oranges, a hat, sunscreen, a canned beverage, like all these things from the vendors. And she had to like put them together thematically, collect them all at the market, did a little photo shoot with them, shared them on Instagram. People had to enter. And then when you do an Instagram contest, it's a lot sometimes if a lot of people enter because they had like tag a friend and follow us. You have to check all those things. She had to do the randomizer, pick a winner, and then coordinate with the winner to come pick it up. So
the many winners,
the many winners,
up, right?
The many winners to come pick it up. It was so hilarious because it was like so much work. She was happy to do it, but she was like, this is overwhelming. But the vendors were so excited and they were like very proud of their item being included. And then they got like a feature, and then the folks that won it were like, oh, I've never tried this salsa before. I got like the Taco Tuesday basket or whatever. And so it just like, it did end up as a huge benefit for the market too, which is what my thinking was. Like a giveaway should always benefit the market too. So it did do that, but it was a ton of work. So I think when we hit another milestone, we just did like a market bag with $50 in market gift cards. That was it. And I didn't ask vendors for things, but we still got a lot of good traction on that. Certainly not as much as the beautiful bags that she put together, but you can make it really simple, or you could go all out. Or if you have like a smaller market, you have like 20 farmers and vendors at your market and they all really want to contribute, you could put together like really good bags and baskets from those vendors and highlight them and give them like a much deeper highlight and draw the community in that way by doing a giveaway. Even if you reach 500 followers on Instagram, it doesn't have to be some huge number. Just celebrate the wins that you're getting. Or like you said, oh, we reached 15 vendors, we reached 20 vendors, do a little celebration of that. And a giveaway is always fun for folks.
Yeah, those are always happy ones. You can do simpler things too than that. But yes, easy giveaways are good. You can print thank you cards for shoppers to hand out, and then maybe do a prize and a big celebration and a feature to the farmers and vendors that get the most votes or the most thank you cards. That's kind of a customer choice kind of voting thing.
Yeah.
Anybody that has a birthday, absolutely an opportunity to do celebrations.
Hmm.
Hats, birthday hats, those little things that you blow and they those are fun. Give those to everybody and make sure that you have a birthday cake or a cupcake or a scone or half a cantaloupe that has a candle in it and sing really loudly. If you notice, if you get a decent group singing, everybody will sing. Can you imagine a whole market full of shoppers singing to somebody?
It's really fun and just embarrass them. Just call them out because people like to be celebrated, even your shy farmers and vendors. I know we have so many vendors, so we don't celebrate everybody's birthday, but usually like those vendors that really go above and beyond for everybody, are like market mom that takes care of everybody or brings everybody snacks or, watches everyone's booth, things like that. Like just your beloved members of your market, celebrate them. For Mother's Day, we've done that before. We gave all of our farmer and vendor mothers like little bouquets and took pictures and shared it of them. So just like giving them a little recognition, I think they really enjoy that. And it doesn't take too much effort.
For sure. I think it'd be a good investment to get just a simple birthday banner from a party store and just keep it in your box of tools and equipment for the market and hang it on anybody's birthday when you discover that it's their birthday. Super simple, even if you don't know it's coming.
Exactly. Or like a little sign at your info booth that's just like a cork board and you can switch out the picture and say, today is so and so's birthday, and they have the first crop of corn today or something, just to kind of give your attendees a little information about those shout outs.
Yeah, I think it makes everybody feel even more part of that community.
Exactly. And that's really what it does is like when you're like, oh, it's this farmer's birthday, and then a shopper can be like, oh, happy birthday. That those little like sparks of connection, those build up over time. I think the shoppers that felt comfortable coming up to me and saying, happy birthday, it was nice for them to be like, oh, I can like talk to the market manager about something because usually like they don't have anything to talk to me about if they're just coming and shopping and having a good time. But it felt like a little connection that they could have with me and that I could be like, oh, thank you so much. And I could recognize them for being there. And those little sparks add up. So it's about, those face to face kind of interactions that we're having at the market. This is just one more thing that you can do that is really positive. So sometimes you have to have negative interactions with folks or, enforce rules or deal with shopper complaints. So just kind of build up like a little stockpile of those positive connections. I think that celebrating things can do that.
Absolutely. Such a good idea. If you don't want to invest in something like a commemorative bag or a t-shirt for an anniversary or celebration, we're talking about ways to make this simple. Maybe order buttons. Those are fun.
Yep. Great idea. Yeah, it doesn't have to be some huge expense because we have talked about this before too with the t-shirts that can get super costly because they just cost a lot. Plus you have to design them and all the sizes and everything. Things like buttons, stickers even,
People love a sticker.
they love a sticker. So you can still do something to celebrate without breaking the bank.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's big collaborative celebrations that we all do together. We mentioned briefly National Farmers Market Week. That is coming up Sunday, August 2nd to Saturday, August 8th. It'll be back. Farmers Market Coalition will have resources. They've got the toolkit posted right now from 2025 that you can download. What I've heard just through Scuttlebutt is that they're going to be updating that a little bit. So there'll probably be a 2026 toolkit soon. That includes press release templates that you can use to get out to local TV stations, newspapers, magazines that you might want to get some coverage. It includes, I think they got a sample proclamation in there. We were really successful at getting a proclamation from our city for our third anniversary at a market that I help with in southern San Diego. And I find what makes that a sure kind of a slam dunk thing is to write the proclamation yourself and then send it to them and say, it could be something like this. And of course, they have the option in the mayor's office to change things up, but they did not change a word of ours. So it's good to include things in there about we're recognizing the market because it provides economic development, it fosters small businesses, it helps our community eat better. including all those things, very inspiring for a mayor to sign off on and celebrate, and they are happy to jump on. So I think the Farmers Market Toolkit from Farmers Market Coalition has that kind of thing in it. If not, pop me an email. I will send you one. It's really very effective. They'll have graphics at Farmers Market Coalition. Again, scuttlebutt, not confirmed, but I've heard that there might be some new graphics this year that they're redesigning a few things because I know we've been using sort of a similar theme for the last couple of years. And then the big question, and I do not know the answer, but if you're out there, Farmers Market Coalition Board, and somebody want to drop us a line or text us, will the tattoos be back? I feel
Mm.
like we didn't have tattoos last year, and there was a much wailing and rending of garments about that.
They are a beloved staple of Farmers Market Week. Okay, so let's bring those back. We're going to start a campaign to bring the tattoos back. Yeah, and those and the all the templates that they send out each year, they're so helpful, especially if you have, someone on your team that does the marketing, you can have them just look at that and not kind of have to walk them through every step of the way if they're new or just getting kind of a handle on what to share for Farmers Market Week. It's super helpful and definitely agree on writing your own proclamations and press releases because like we've always said, there's a lot of people that don't understand what a farmer's market is or what it's doing. So if you just spell it out for them, they would love to be the ones to tell everybody and make it look like they know what it is. So just give them that glory, give them some talking points. And so they can just kind of say what you have told them to say. It makes it real easy for them. You don't want to embarrass them by having, asking them to like come up with it on their own if they're not really involved in the market. But getting those folks to spread the word for you is really important.
I agree. You can think about organizing your own kind of celebrate farmers market weeks locally too. I'm not saying to replace National Farmers Market Week, but maybe as an addition. National Farmers Market Week only comes around once a year, so maybe celebrating at a different time of year in addition could be a good thing. We've actually heard that states like Arizona, Texas, and Florida may be getting ready to collaborate on a winter farmers market week because August is not exactly peak time for produce in those hot weather states. So they're looking at maybe getting together as a group of state associations and practitioners and putting together a week that celebrates farmers markets in what some of us would not consider peak time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've talked about that in California too, because August is great, but May is better because we have all of the stone fruit, or even June, like stone fruit, all the melons, like all the things that people really go crazy for at the market. By August, some of them have ended their season. There's definitely like no cherries happening. And just, it's not really like, I mean, I will say in San Diego, we are lucky to say that we have wonderful things growing year round, especially with hoop houses and things like that. But I just say if you think of something that happens, really robustly at your market at certain times of year, like tomato season is coming up and things, um, doing something really micro, like locally, would be super helpful. Maybe not even your state, but like your city, like a San Diego markets could, do something around the date that makes most sense for us. And then also the national farmers market, then you can take it more to like bringing those government officials in to make it really recognize that this is like a national thing that we're celebrating now. But then that other second date is more like, oh, this is when our markets are at peak.
Yeah, I think collaborating with the markets in your city or county to put something on is great. Say fresh food in San Diego. Just put something together. But if you're all putting out information at the same time, you can raise the level of excitement and really turn it into a celebration.
Definitely.
I know some state associations organize state farmers market weeks that are aligned with National Farmers Market Week. So in Illinois, for instance, instead of just saying National Farmers Market Week, they talk a lot about Illinois Farmers Market Week. And I think the Washington farmers markets do that as well. Ohio Farmers Market Network this year is partnering with other local and state organizations around them, and they're celebrating America 250 all year. It's kind of a big celebration of America's 250th anniversary, and they're doing it with different farmers market related celebrations each month. So their state house, for instance, is hosting a big picnic where you're just invited to come sit on the lawn at the state capitol, and there's going to be farmers market vendors available where you can buy your fruits and veggies and maybe sandwiches and nuts and sweets and be able to picnic there with everybody and celebrate farmers markets and how long Ohio's been doing farmers markets, how long America has been fostering these kind of events, how long farmers have been involved in really building our country's wealth in terms of fresh food.
Exactly. I think that's really important too while you're doing these celebrations is to remind folks, the history of farmers markets, the importance of farmers markets, so that while you're celebrating things, you're also encouraging people to continue supporting them and telling them how they can support them.
I agree.
Because, really, who doesn't love a party? We love a party. Our job is weird and sometimes it's hard, but it's also super fun. We work outside, we can wear cute kicks and comfortable clothes. Our coworkers bring tasty food to our, quote, office, our outdoor office, every single workday. We feed people. And if that isn't worth celebrating, we do not know what is.
Thanks for listening today. And big thanks to MarketWorks for helping farmers market managers and vendors by putting all of the tools to succeed in one place. And for supporting Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. Find more information when you click the MarketWorks logo on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
Thanks for listening to Tent Talk today. Please leave us a review on your podcast app or wherever you listen to Tent Talk. Let us and others know how you're enjoying the podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of Tent Talk. Connect with fellow farmers market folks in our private Facebook group, the Farmers Market Pros Community, and follow us on Instagram at Farmers Market Pros. Find online education and other resources at farmersmarketpros.com. Tent Talk is brought to you by Farmers Market Pros, where passion meets profit. Tent Talk is hosted by Kat Fields White and Bridget Myers and produced by Leandra Hayes, with original music by David Mead. Tune in for another great episode.